Hello everyone, Joe Morton here for this edition of Positive In, a YouTube channel dedicated to putting positive into our lives, positive into our minds each and every day so positive can flow out in all the roles that we play. Okay, today I want to dedicate this one to getting into the moment, becoming present. Why is this so important? My goodness, today in today's society, we are constantly on the go. You know what I'm talking about? Constantly, we never stop. It's getting to a point where we carry these around with us everywhere. We're eating while we're walking. We're eating while we're driving. We're eating while we're at the desk and working. We're eating while we're texting. We're eating while we're watching TV or a sporting event. We're eating and we never actually sit down and eat. Even when we're with a family or with their friends, we're eating and watch. Watch when you're at a restaurant. I'm guilty of it. We all are. We're sitting there and we have all our phones there. And we're eating and having a conversation, and then everyone kind of looks down and does this. You know, and we're walking. We're just walking and we're texting. We're walking and we're thinking about something else. Even while we're watching TV, you try to watch TV, and you're trying to get into a show, whatever the show may be, and there's like little ads at the bottom, and we're like, our eyes kind of going to the ads, and watching the news is crazy in many ways to begin with, as you know my thoughts on the news. But even the news, I mean, you're watching like ticker symbols at the bottom saying, this is the next breaking news. Oh, I'm trying to watch this, but there's no breaking news. Watching sports channels, forget it. They're like all over the place. You're like, what am I watching? I don't know. We're constantly on the go, and we're never quite stopped. So I believe being in the present, being in the moment, there's healing takes place. Inspiration happens when we can just shut out the world for a moment. Just shut it out for whatever that moment may be. Something happens. We become present, and we're allowed to, we allow ourselves this experience of gathering new ideas, gathering thoughts, inspiration for whatever we need, for all the different roles that we play. We become inspired. Something happens, and these are the times where I grow and I become more of who I'm supposed to be, and I love that. So here's 7 points. 7 points, take a little note of ways that we can become more present. Okay, number 1, stop worrying about the past. The past is the past. See, what's interesting about the moment is this. We always have only the moment, only the now. Think about it. The past is past, it's done. There's no point worrying about it. There's no point reliving over and over that particular experience, or those words you said or didn't say, or the words that a person said or didn't say to you, or whether you got played in that game or not. We all do this. We're all guilty of this, and yet it matters not. The past is the past. You only have the moment. And yet we spend so much time focused on we're worried about the future, that we actually don't even experience the now and experience the moment in time. Forget about the past. Just get past it and allow the inspiration to start and allow the healing to begin as we're in the moment. Number 2, stop and smell the roses. Now I know that this sounds a little cliche, I recognize that, but think about it. How important is it to just stop and smell the roses? I had this beautiful experience with my daughter recently. We go for little walks as a family. My daughter, she's 5 years old. She just loves to go for walks. And we're walking one day, and she starts to pick these leaves from the trees. And I'm just walking. She's on my shoulders, and she's plunk this leaf, and then a couple trees later, plunk, she pulls these leaves. And as I put her down, she says, Daddy, look, they were both the same tree, happened to be. They were both maple trees, and they were big, these big, beautiful leaves at this time of year, because it's spring, and they're beyond spring, kind of spring to summer, and these beautiful big leaves. And one was about this big, and one was a little bit smaller, and she pointed out, Daddy, look at this leaf, these leaves. They are the exact same, but they're different sizes. And I thought, wow, I didn't notice that. It's not something that I would have noticed. And yet being in that moment for a moment, just looking at her, in her eyes as she was marveling at the wonder of this beautiful thing of nature, it allowed me to get in the present for a moment. And it was this beautiful moment. It's like time stood still for a moment. Stop and smell the roses and recognize the miracle that life is. Number 3, focus. When talking to a person, focus on them. put this down. Now this is a tough one, and I got to admit this is a tough one for me too. But as I'm focusing more on doing this, as I'm focusing on the individual, I'm hearing more, I'm listening more, I'm recognizing the messages that they're sending. It's pretty annoying. I know. I'm sitting there and someone's on their phone while I'm trying to talk to them, and I realize I do that too. We all do this. Stop and focus. Listen to the other human being that's right there. Heck, we make phone calls and we hope that they don't answer the phone. Well, I hope they don't answer the phone. I can just leave a message. Then I actually don't have to have a conversation with the person. Heck, let's just put it down for a moment and listen to the other human being, what they're saying. It's beautiful. Healing takes place between the two different individuals and also for you as an individual. Meditate. This gets a person into the moment. Concentrate on just breathing, for example. Meditation can be just concentrating on breathing. Concentrate on the cardiovascular system, the heart, and recognize the miracle that the body is, and just get into the moment and concentrate just on that. Recognize that there are, as an adult human being, approximately anywhere between 75 to 100,000 miles of blood vessels that go through your body, and just focus on this. Whether it be for a minute, 2 minutes, 3, 4, 5 minutes, whatever you can. Try it. It's going to be tough, and this is something you have to practice, but wow, try that. Just focus and concentrate on meditating for just a moment. There's healing that takes place. You're going to find it hard to chase out the thoughts that are coming, but wow, is it powerful. Go for a hike in the outdoors, but shut down your phone while you're doing it. Just go for a hike. Listen to nature. Observe nature. Just get lost for a little bit, whether that be for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes or a half an hour. I don't know, whatever it is. Something healing about hearing the sounds of the insects and the animals that are all in the present, by the way. They're all in the moment, and the leaves rustling in the wind. And something very healing about that. Number 6, enjoy what you are doing. I know that sounds easy, and I know that sounds like a bit of a crazy thought, but enjoy what you're doing. How much of life is spent focusing on, oh my gosh, I'm doing this, whatever it may be. You're with your kids or with your spouse or your significant other. You're with a salesperson sitting across the way, looking at them, listening to them, trying to help to find the need, because sales is need meets opportunity, right? And you're trying to do this, and yet you're focused on the next presentation or whatever it may be. Get into the moment, enjoy what you're doing, and don't be focused on the next thing. I tend to do this. I'm like going on a hike with my one son, and then I'm like, well, okay, I'm looking forward to being with my other son doing whatever other activity, because they like to do different things, or with my daughter or with my wife or whatever. Or I'm at one meeting and I'm already focused on the next meeting. Focus on what you're doing and enjoy what you're doing, and don't be so stressed about what the next event is going to be. That takes away from you enjoying that moment. Number 7, do something random and get in the moment. Okay, so I was driving home recently. My son had an activity with a scouting group, and so I was coming back, driving by myself, and because I was only able to go for part of it. And I'm just driving, and it's sunset, and it's beautiful, somewhere around 8 o'clock at night, and I'm just driving, and I thought, there's a dirt road right there. I'm stopping, and I'm going for a run, and it was. My favorite time of day is the sunset, and I just start running, and I'm running and running, and I got into the moment. It was beautiful, random, kind of a little like out there. People are probably wondering, who's this dude just running on the side, because it was kind of ran along the side of the highway. Amazing. Something unplanned, but how healing it was for me. It was beautiful. So, there's 7 ways that we can get into the moment and watch what happens as we forget about the past. Stop worrying about the past. Stop worrying about the future. I know, easier said than done, but the more we practice this, it's like a muscle. It gets stronger and stronger and stronger over time. And watch the healing and the ideas and the inspiration start to come. Joe Morton here for this edition of Positive In. Thank you for listening, and you make it a fantastic day. Thank you.